We're here in Chicago at Axpona 2024. It's going to be a great show. Check out our coverage.
And please check out our Facebook page, the fastest growing audiophile Facebook page, over 12,000 members in 3 months, The Listening Chair with Howard Neller Group.
I'm Howard Neller.
I'm Kemper Holt.
And welcome to The Listening Chair. Hey, it's Howard and Kemper. So we're here in the room of Pangea Audio, and we're here with Steve Niemi from Pangea, and Steve is going to tell us about some really cool budget-priced products that Pangea has, and also Pangea distributes products for 2 other audiophile companies. So tell us about those. Without any further ado, let's roll the tape. So Steve, thanks for having us. Can you tell us a little about yourself and also, what you brought to the show here today?
Yeah, thanks for joining us at Axpona 2024. So Pangea was built around the idea that hi-fi doesn't have to be expensive, right? It's a fun hobby, and seeing the expensive stuff is fun. But when it comes down to it, sometimes you just want something that's really high value.
You have Pangea products here, and there's a couple of other companies that Pangea is involved with. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so Pangea Audio Distributing owns, manufactures, distributes, engineers all the Pangea product, Pangea Vulcan, and also Record Doctor. So we're just introducing the Record Doctor 10. And then we import and distribute throughout the US Vincent Audio, which is also another great value-minded product.
So what do you got first for us?
Well, first I'd love to talk about Vincent Audio, the new SV237 Mark II integrated amp, which we have here. The 237 for the last 10 years has been one of Vincent's best-selling integrated amps, sub $3,000 range. The new Mark II basically does everything the 237 ever did with some upgraded cosmetics and added a Bluetooth radio.
And it's fully tubes?
This is a hybrid, and I'm glad you mentioned that because one of the things that makes Vincent really, really special is the hybrid design, which means they have tubes on the front end, solid state on the back end. So you have the reliability of solid state, the power of the oomph, but you have the delicacy and the grace that come with the tubes.
What kind of power are we talking about?
So this is 150 watts times 2 into 8 ohms, and it's 250 times 2 into 4 ohms. And also the first 10 watts is actually a Class A operation, which is where your amp is working in most of the time anyway.
Okay, pretty substantial. So where does it fall on the Vincent line?
So it's dead smack in the middle at $3,000. So they have 2 integrateds that fall below it. They have 2 integrateds that fall above it. And I think that's one of the reasons why customers have really come to love the 237 is because of what it offers for the price.
How much is the flagship amplifier?
It is $39.95.
Okay, still not a lot of money. What's the entry-level model?
It is the SV500. That's $1,299, so $1,300. It's also a hybrid. And Vincent does what they can to deliver a ton of performance for not a lot of money, and that's really what Pangea Audio Distributing is about.
Awesome. Okay, that's a good entry point for people who just want to get into the hobby. Great. So what else do we got?
All right, I'd like to move over to the Vincent SAT7 Mark. So this is even newer than the 237. This is a full tube preamp from Vincent Audio. So at $34.99, it is a full tube complement preamp. The SAT7 has been in the line again with Vincent for years and years. The Mark version, which was just introduced this year, adds the Bluetooth radio.
Okay, and what type of connectivity does it have?
So this has Bluetooth radio, which is new,
right.
And it has a optical input, a digital coax input, and multiple RCA inputs.
Okay, great. And
then there's step up, and we don't have it on display because it is a limited edition coming out of Germany. They took the SAT7 when they found a new old stock of German Telefunken tubes from the 1970s. So they found cases of these Telefunken tubes. What do they do with them? They build a special circuit that works inside the SAT7. So there's a new model called SAT7 Diamond. We just got them in stock in the US. It's a one and done production run using these special new old stock Telefunken tubes. So if you want an SAT7 Diamond, they're in stock now. They probably won't be for long.
Awesome. And what else do we have?
Well, we can talk about Record Doctor next if you'd like.
Sure.
So we own, manufacture, distribute everything to do with Record Doctor. So this is our brand.
Okay.
This is a brand new Record Doctor 10. So where we started for the last 20 years or so has always been a manual machine where you put the record on, this is a vacuum slot, and you turn the record.
Right.
and it extracts the fluid and the dirt through the vacuum slot. In January of 2024, we introduced for the first time in 25 plus years of business a fully motorized dual-sided vacuum machine. For the sake of our ears, I won't turn on the vacuum,
Right.
but it cleans from both the top and the bottom at the same time
Very
with a
nice.
super powerful vacuum motor that we use in our other machines.
Okay.
And at $599, the performance for the price is really unheard of. This is a Record Doctor 6,
Okay.
currently selling for $299, and then our entry-level model is a Record Doctor 5 that goes for $219. So in the Record Doctor line, we do an entire array of record cleaning accessories. So we do clamps, we do brushes, we do stylus cleaning, we mix and bottle our own fluids in-house. So if you do invest in a Record Doctor or want to become part of the Record Doctor family, we can cover all of your record care needs.
I know your prices are really reasonable. What would the clamp go for example?
$40.
Okay. You don't see that very much in audio these days.
No, it's a low-profile clamp, so it'll fit under any dust cover. It's actually 3 pieces, and the phenolic body and the knob really lets you clamp down on just about any turntable spindle that's out there.
Let's hear about Pangea.
So Pangea really started with a single power cable because we really thought that a power cable at the time, going back in our history, the only way to get into it was really expensive. So we came out at the time with a $29 retail power cable that basically anybody could try. And we wanted to kind of dispel the notion that power cables don't work and give everybody that opportunity to hear for themselves.
Okay.
So we launched that for our first power cable. That's where we started. So from there we grew into RCAs, XLRs, digital coax, HDMI, pretty much any cable that you could name, except for right now we don't make a speaker cable, but everything else you can find in our catalog.
For the power cords, what is the technology that the company, certain type of copper, what's the geometry like in a typical power cord?
That's a good question. So early on, even before we started making power cables, we acknowledged we don't know anything about power cable design. So we hired Jay Victor, who is a world-renowned power cable, I should say cable designer. So since day one, Jay has specified the copper, the geometry, the materials. So to answer your question, it's really going to depend on the model because we make good, better, best, even better. We make a wide range. So it comes down to copper and geometry as you move up in the line that gets better.
What's the most expensive cord that or cable that the company makes?
Oh, it might be one of the longer AC9 Mark II power cables. So it'd be a 7-gauge power cable like this. A 4-meter might be something like $500. We also found that one thing that was really missing in the industry was affordable furniture. You either got something from IKEA, especially for those folks like us that store records, or you spent $7,000 or $8,000 on a high-end rack. We really wanted to fill that niche, so we launched the Vulcan line several years ago, which comprises both audio racks and speaker stands. And these are the 6 models you can start with, along with the different colors. And then from there you can expand. You can add LP storage, you can change the post lengths, you can add casters, drawers, feet, just about anything to make it your own.
And what kind of pricing are you talking about on some of these, for example?
We just introduced a new entry-level 3 shelf that starts at $169 retail. And then the most expensive one we make is a solid wood parawood rack, which goes for $499. We're really get a lot of traction with these because people, especially just starting in hi-fi, they don't want to spend $5,000 or $6,000.
Well, thank you, Steve. We really appreciate it. We know you're going to have a good show. The room was crowded when we came in, so you're definitely gathering a lot of buzz, generating a lot of buzz. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.